Oh boy, another week, another Eagles blowout. What's up, Eagles Nation? Um, I mean, look, this pace can't continue as much as I would love to see it. Keep going this way, but the Eagles dominate the Bears 31-3 to go to 10-1. 10 wins a week after Thanksgiving. My goodness. The weekend after Thanksgiving, I should say. My goodness. And by the way, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It was nice. I just had a quiet one. My mom and I, and was happy to see Dallas get destroyed again. Which by the way, I know all the, I don't want to keep, piling on here with Dallas, but the whole Dak versus Carson, thing, and it's going to continue throughout their careers. But Dak without a top three running back behind him, how's he look? Carson without a top three running back behind him, how does he look? There's a little bit of a difference there, but anyhow, this is. I mean, I don't want to keep piling on, but it's the low hanging fruit. I mean, what can you do, But anyhow, so the Eagles get the victory to go to 10-1, and they have played tremendous. Look, it was a bit sloppy today, and maybe because you're playing a team with the record that the Bears have coming in, they have not played that great. Obviously, offensively, defensively, they played pretty decent. I think this season, the Bears come in with a top, I believe, a top three rushing offense, and the Eagles completely eat that up, like desserts on Thanksgiving, like leftovers on Thanksgiving, I should say. The Bears go nowhere on the ground, and when you can make a team one-dimensional, it's going to bode well for your defense every week, and that's what this defense has done. And, to me, I think it's a testament to how this team has played. A lot of people, every week we go, well, what's it going to be this week? What's it going to be? Are they going to have that quote-unquote letdown? They're playing against a team like the Bears that really they're out of it. I mean, they have a rookie quarterback in there. He's been, still kind of trial by fire, kind of like Wentz a year ago. What's it going to be? What, are they going to, is there going to be issues? No issues. This team takes the field and it's business. And that's how winning teams play. When you have a team that can take care of the teams that they should take care of, and that's what the Eagles have done this season, take care of those teams that they should, win handily against, they did. The one loss again was at Kansas City, and right now, I mean, the Chiefs are 6-5, so I'm kind of a little down about that loss now. But that was a hard fought game, obviously, and think the ball didn't bounce the Eagles' way in that one, and Kansas City got the win. But the Eagles have continued to play tremendous in all aspects, offensively, defensively, special teams, the three legs of the tripod, as I like to say, and they have won 10 games, and they have lost one tough one in Kansas City earlier in the year. To me, it's a testament to the team. It's a testament to the belief that they have, the coaching staff, the ownership, and the brain trust. This has been tremendous. This has been everything that we've ever really wanted from this team for a number of years. And, to have a season like this, you see a lot of people in this area with smiles, with Eagles gear. It's just, it's really cool, and this is a great football town. It's always been. And when the team is doing well, it just is that much better. And, but we show up with this team whether they win or lose. But when they're having a season like this for the first time since 04-05, record-wise anyhow, it is. It's a lot of fun. You look forward to every game no matter who they're playing. You look forward to seeing how Carson's going to play, how the defense is going to play, how the game's going to, unravel. And yet again, another week, another, game that's pretty much over at the halftime. Ooh, I see Alshon Jeffrey wearing that Michael Jordan Mitchell Ness jersey. Hey, the jersey head in me, right? I'm just seeing the Eagles post-game show, and Alshon's there with a MJ jersey on. He played for the Bears the last years. I wonder if he made sure to wear some sort of Chicago item after he probably came into the game with that on too. That's a nice one. It's like the home. I think it's a 97, 98 Jordan jersey. And it's just a jersey head in me, man. I can't help it. Actually, he was at the Sixers. You know what, Alshon, man? You should be wearing a Sixer jersey. Where's that Iverson or Dr. J? Anyhow, nothing wrong with wearing an MJ jersey, though. But anyhow, back to the story at hand, and of course that is the Eagles. And I'll tell you, man, it's exciting. And we all know, as I've said before, anything can happen. I mean, look, you don't want to get too high, too low, because, I mean, heaven forbid, number 11 goes down and there goes everything, right? So I'm really excited for this. This has been a tremendous start to the season. It's a tough stretch right now. Going to Seattle, going to play the Rams on the road, and then you end that 3-game stretch at MetLife Stadium against the Giants. And even though the Giants don't have anything to play for, it's a division rival. It's still a team that, they might, be up for that game. Who knows? So you don't want to take anything for granted. I really look forward to seeing this game next week. I really look forward to seeing how they play against Seattle. Because last year you could tell they just weren't ready. They just weren't ready for that game. They just weren't ready to go to Seattle and get a W. And they made too many mistakes. And I think the mistakes kind of showed that, the inexperience at quarterback at the time, not being able to make the plays offensively. They gave up some plays defensively. I'm just watching Alshon show off the jersey. Trying to see if that's like the finals jersey or something, one of the ones I have in the closet upstairs. But no. And stop distracting me, Alshon. I really look forward to seeing how this team plays against Seattle this year. And I know Seattle hasn't played as well, this year at home as they have in recent years. I know that they have some injuries, some big injuries in that secondary with Chancellor and Sherman out. And I get it. It's not the same Seahawks team that they even were a year ago. But I really look forward to seeing how this team responds, to that game, to that challenge next Sunday night in Seattle with those fans there going crazy. The Seahawks are still one of those teams in the playoff hunt, and the game means a lot for them too. So it is going to be big, and I really look forward to seeing how the Eagles play, how they kind of respond and kind of rebound from a tough one last year. I even remember years ago when the Eagles crushed Dallas on Thanksgiving, and I think it was the next week they played the Seahawks here, and they got taken apart. So it's like we owe these Seahawks, And the Eagles are playing really well right now. I mean, they're 10-1, best record in the league, no matter what happens in the other games the rest of this week. But it's a big challenge, and they're on the road and in a hostile environment with the Seahawk fans there, the 12s. And it's going to be, to me, it's a game that I'm really looking forward to. I want to see this team respond. I want to see this team continue to play well. And I'll tell you what, if they blow out the Seahawks somehow next week, I mean, I don't think anyone can say anything. Even the people that might have a little shred of doubt. I mean, if they pick apart the Seahawks next week and they win again in L.A. the week after, I don't think there's any, regardless of what happens the rest of the season, I don't think anyone can say anything about, oh, well, this team could still. I mean, what else would they have to prove at that point? I mean, they don't play the Saints unless they play them in the playoffs, nor do they play the Vikings. They already beat the Panthers. They don't play the Falcons. So some of these other hot teams in the NFC, they don't play unless they play them in the playoffs. And the thing is, as long as they continue on this route, they only got to play 2 home games to get to the Super Bowl. So it's not like you have to play all those teams. You just have to play 2 of them here, which I think would be an advantage. And I know a lot has been made of Seattle, and rightfully so. The loudest stadium and the greatest home, field advantage. I got to tell you what, the Eagles have a tremendous home field advantage right now. They're undefeated at home. The Seahawks aren't undefeated at home this season. By the way, Seattle, you lost to Washington at home. We beat Washington twice. Okay? So that great home field advantage that it's all about the 12s and everything, I got to tell you, man, it might be sliding here. It might be going from Seattle being the toughest place to play to Philly being the toughest place to play, because by home record over the last few years, the Eagles have a better home field advantage, a better home field record than Seattle, and I think that says a lot. This is a great place to play. These are great fans. They're loud for a stadium where the stadium isn't designed to keep the noise in like it is in Seattle. Nothing against Seattle, but I'm just saying for more of an open stadium, it makes noise. I mean, these fans know how to bring it week to week, and it's a great home field advantage, great home field atmosphere. So I do look forward to that challenge. Every game, every week is vitally important. And the division's wrapped up. I think I heard if Dallas loses on Thursday night against Washington, the Eagles won the NFC East. You know, right now, regardless of what happens in that game, this division's done. The Eagles won the division. They're basically a win. It's like the magic number's one. So they're basically a win away. If Dallas doesn't lose on Thursday, and the Eagles win on Sunday night, they won the division. So that game could be for winning the division too in Seattle. But it's more than winning the division right now. Right now, it's about getting that home field, getting that number 1 seed. At very worst, number 2 seed. But that number 1 seed to me would be tremendous. Having 2 home games to get, and nothing's guaranteed. Believe me, no one knows this. No one knows this better than we do. Losing to the Bucks and losing to the Panthers in the NFC title games. Yeah, I mean, I certainly remember that, and it was heartache, and it was very difficult. Of course, losing to the Panthers got us TO that offseason, but Javon Curse and TO in that offseason. And then the following year, they win the home game in the NFC title game against Atlanta. They go to the Super Bowl, which was the last time they were 10-1 to start the season. I get it, but the way this team has played this year at home, it is so important. Whether it's playing the Vikings, the Panthers, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Saints, whoever that they would have to play, they would play them here, and that's huge. That's important. As far as how they've looked this season goes. And I know years ago when the last time they were in the playoffs and they won the division in Dallas, they lost to the Saints the next week, in the wild card game. But that's all in the past. That's a different team. So we're not looking at past history here, we're looking at the present. I know Dallas fans love to talk about the past. And here we like to talk about the present. Maybe Dallas fans really want to talk about the past this season, right? From 13-3 to the excuses. There's no excuses here. It's just winning. That's what it is. We have injuries to key guys for the season. No excuses. Just keep winning, finding ways. Good teams do that. So, I promised I wouldn't pile on, but it's just too easy. Anyhow, listen, this wasn't a perfect game. They made some mistakes. There were some fumbles. There was, Malcolm Jenkins has an interception that then he eventually fumbles. And those mistakes that were made today, you can't make that against Seattle. You can't make that against the Rams. You can't make that against some of the better teams. And I'm glad, if anything else, it's like you get it out of the system now. In a 31-3 route, you get those mistakes out of your system. And in a way, I'm kind of glad you make them because, you play it's almost like if you play too perfect, there's what can you build on? Well, with this team, there's always something to build on. Even in games where it looks like they're doing everything right, they're using little examples here and there that we got to get better, and this is where we got to build on. And that's a credit to the coaching staff, to point that out. You never want to be too high. You never want to feel that invincible that nothing can go wrong, because that's when things do go wrong. So again, I really look forward to next Sunday night. It's a big game. It's a big test. Against the Seahawks. It's a team that possibly you could see again in the playoffs, and it's one of those kind of measuring stick type games. Even though I think the Eagles are a better team than Seattle right now, in part because Seattle has the injuries that they do to Sherman and Chancellor, and that offensive line. I know. Look. Russell's made a career of this, right? He just keeps plays alive. And I know they've had some issues, and they're not the same team. They're not the same team that was going to Super Bowls. They're not the same team that they were even last year, with these injuries to key spots. But I think it's a huge game. I think it would be a huge, huge success and statement if Carson Wentz in his second year in the league, and he is still looking all the part of an MVP candidate, he goes into Seattle and knocks out the Seahawks. Or at least, gets a win there and avenges the loss a year ago in Seattle. I just think that would show a lot. That would continue to show us the growth and progress of this young quarterback. And we have to keep reminding ourselves, this guy's only in his second year. He is only in his he has 28 touchdown passes through, 11 games in his second year. Number one offense in the red zone. Number one offense in third down conversions. Second year quarterback. But yet there are still some obstacles ahead. There are still games that, got to keep proving himself, right? This game against Seattle, the next week against the Rams, and then you go forward from that in the playoffs. Whether it's home or worst comes to worst, away, still got to prove yourself. It's a young quarterback, and we all have to remember that. There might still be some mistakes made here and there, as long as they don't cost them games, or a chance to move on in the playoffs. You got to live with it. The guy's looked unflappable to this point. He is like a student of the game. Even trying to go over Doug Peterson's play sheet with him there. They showed one shot of him there, wanting to go to another play on the other side of the sheet. It's cool. It's great to have a young QB like this. I mean, you talk about being thankful for, the season of thanks and everything. We're thankful for that here. We really are. We're thankful that the Eagles moved up to the number 2 pick to get this guy. And we're thankful for how he's progressed and has shown every bit why they moved up the way they did to make those trades to get number 2. We're also thankful for Cleveland to allow the... Thank you, Cleveland. What's Cleveland now, 0-11? Every week, those fans are just going, wow, why? We don't even want to see Eagles highlights now. I do feel bad. I know the Browns fans, even though their team has been really, I know they're Hardy fans, and hopefully some year, they get it turned around. But until then, you got LeBron. You're in the finals every year for basketball, so you got the Indians turned it around. So okay, 2 out of 3. All right, Eagles Nation. Well, I mean, what else can you say about this game? It was a game on paper that we should have dominated, and in fact, today they did dominate. And now that that's done, now you look ahead to this big road trip, 3 games. More than likely, if Dallas loses the game on Thursday night, the Eagles are NFC East Division champs, and congrats to that. But there's still plenty of work to do, and even if Dallas wins that game, the Eagles beat Seattle, they're NFC East Division champs. And they avenged the loss a year ago at Seattle. So it's a big game on the Pacific Northwest next week, next Sunday night. It's a primetime game. Anyone can watch it. And again, I look forward to it. I know if this team continues to play the way they have, they can get a win in Seattle. No matter if all the 12s are making their noise, it's not going to matter. You drown it out and you just make your plays. Great win, great start to the season. 10-1, my God, could not have even imagined 10-1 at this point when the season began. I mean, they've already got the wins that I predicted them to get. I said 10-6 before the season began, division champs. But boy, now I'm going to get greedy. Let's keep winning. Don't stop at 10 just because Mighty Fan said so before the season began. Let's go for that 11th win next Sunday night. I'm taking this thing week to week, guys. I'm not getting too ahead of myself here because I know it's a week to week deal, and you got to enjoy the ride. You got to enjoy this. So great win again today, 31-3, demolishing Chicago. And on to Seattle, on to a 3-game road trip, Seattle, LA, and back east to take on the New York Football Giants. All right, everyone, as always, Eagles Nation, great win again today. Let's go Birds as always, and I'll see you around the channel this week. Maybe I'll do a little pregame deal, or maybe even get some more Madden games. You never know. I know that's been lacking a bit, but I hope to get back into that series pretty soon. All right, everyone, thanks for watching as always, and let's go Birds. I'll see you around the channel. Take care.